You're listening to the Paracasual Destiny podcast. Hi everybody, I'm Soultime, and this is episode 36 of the Paracasual Destiny podcasts. Wow, we've done more episodes than how old you are, right, Daniel? We've outnumbered
that is
you.
True.
We've outnumbered you and Romance Girl, for that matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're about a quarter of the way to Soultime and Sally Bug. Anyway, how's everybody doing on this dreary Saturday morning, at least here in southern Maine? Okay.
I'm fine.
Oh, it's okay.
It's we have a weather system moving in. It's nice right now, but we're expecting some dreary weather as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it was super dreary, but much less now that I've had a couple sips of coffee here. So, lots to talk about. Wow. Destiny has been trotting along at an even clip story-wise for us lately. And has anybody been able to get on in the last couple of weeks and do anything?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We have over here.
Okay. That's good. That's good to hear. I've got to say, medium. I've been playing some other video games, so I've kind of been splitting my time between 3 or 4 games, including Destiny. So we'll say my game time is maybe 75% reduced for average summer playing for me.
That's not allowed.
Yeah, no, I hear
We're gonna
you.
put it in the chat that we're looking for new professional casual Destiny players to take your spot.
Professional casual.
Professional casual.
Professional casual. Anyway, for just to look over the past, I looked over the past couple of TWABs since the last time we broadcast, and interestingly enough, it seems like in both TWABs they're just talking about what's coming July 6th for the most part. So maybe we can react to some of those.
The weapons patches and...
Yeah, the first thing I noticed was, and this was TWAB before last, 'twas the TWAB before Christmas and all through the house. The Moon and Dreaming City weapons with new perks are arriving on July 6th, which, according to my watch, is next Tuesday.
What?
I'm excited for that. I don't know why, but
Me
I
too.
am. I'm just super nostalgic. It's probably why I love Destiny so much. So
The opposite of sunsetting.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm a fan of reissuing, in all honesty. I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing the new perks. And
that's right,
just
new
giving
perks as
a
well.
rechase
Yeah.
some of those weapons.
Sweet.
Right, and it's nice to have the opportunity to get some of those old weapons back that you deleted because they were sunset, and now you have an opportunity to get them back, and potentially with even better rolls than what you had before, since the perk pool has...
I feel like I
changed.
never fully finished Shadowkeep, and I've been able to go back. Basically, it's where what I'm doing is going back with my alt characters and revisiting the missions and things. And also just getting some of the, I'm interested in maybe doing those nightmare hunts a little more than I did. I never really fleshed them out. Maybe did each of them just whatever the requirements were to progress things. And go back, maybe try a few time trials in those. But I just love the aesthetic of the moon. I'm just a moon maniac, basically.
Moon nut.
A moon head. Moonhead. Anyway, I just love the Shadowkeep weapons and everything, and it's been disheartening just to get one and have to just dismantle it right away because it's garbage due to sunsetting. But also the Dreaming City weapons as well. I really like that aesthetic. Really, really good stuff coming back, and I'm looking forward to, maxing out my vault again.
Yeah.
Right.
My vault is still maxed.
Oh no.
I've actually been doing pretty good. I do this thing where I use the, it's not the loadout optimizer, it's the organizer feature in DIM. So I just go in and all the weapon, when my vault starts getting up around 480, 490, I go into this organizer in DIM and do is dupe or tag none. And so it shows everything that I haven't tagged yet, and it is a duplicate. So I go in and compare.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I do is dupe, not tagged.
That's what I do. It's so cool. And
that's the best way to start.
It's a toilet flushing. and so, you get rid of all the garbage. You tag the junk, and then you tag which ones you want to infuse, and it's homework. Then I get back online and I set everything up, usually on my warlock, where I just go in and dismantle all the junk first, and then I just go through the infusing of everything that needed to be infused, and lo and behold, my vault number drops down below 400, which is always nice.
See, I do that, and then my vault's at like 470. So I still have like a core amount in my vault that I'm not.
Armor sets probably right.
Yet.
Lots of.
No, I've gotten rid of all the armor.
Probably got.
I got rid of all my armor.
How about? Do you have like 100 legendary ships and ghosts in there?
No, what it is I have trouble dismantling like a weapon that I don't have like it's like the still one of everything mentality. So it's hard to even if it's a weapon I'm not going to use, it's hard to dismantle it.
Right.
But I did dismantle the sunset stuff.
Yeah. Oh well, that's progress, I suppose.
Now, would this be remedied if the collections, like if you could pull a crap roll out of your
yeah, for sure.
Okay. So just really like the collections aren't functioning the way that they intended for you.
I remember in D1,
right? Because they Oh, go ahead.
No, well, I'm just saying in D1 it got to the point where I was only keeping one of each archetype because the vault space was so limited.
Well, when they introduced collections, there were still static rolls on weapons. So I think their idea when they made collections was that we could go back and get our weapons.
Right.
But then at the same time, it actually launched was around the time that they were introducing random rules. And so the collections and the weapons were never meant to be.
Right.
Yeah.
I do. I'm with Stego. I wish that you could just go into your collections and just get like this. If you want to get it out of your collections, that it would just drop with this crappy static roll. It doesn't even have to be crappy. It's just like this is like this is the generic. This is the generic version of that weapon.
Well, then that nobody would want to use that version of that weapon though. So that kind of brings us back to square one.
Right.
This is a whole different conversation, and we could go into this.
Yeah, we're off track already.
Of course.
There we go.
But that's the magic of podcasting. There's no director waving his hands saying,
Well, there are plenty of podcasts that have producers that do exactly that.
Well, not this one.
Clearly.
The Paracasual one.
Iron Banana, anyone? That's our next topic. Yeah, getting back on track. The Iron Banana, which is, as we speak, available.
Right now.
And I pledged to quit playing Iron Banner last time we talked about it, and I haven't touched it, so I don't have anything to say about it. Did anybody dip their toes for some pinnacles?
No, we just had other stuff to do in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. I'm
wow.
too involved. I'm focusing on trying to get that override
We did trials last weekend, so I think we're just kind of like PvP'd out by the time Iron Banner launched.
Yeah.
PvP'd out. I like it. I like that term. I feel that way a lot of times.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that splicer all the way, like, opened up, right? Unlocking all of that. So that takes a lot of.
It does. It takes a lot of effort.
That-
And, you know, the Iron Banana,
effort,
the Iron
but you have
Banner
to get
has
those
actually become the
experience.
Iron Banana for me because I did have a banana yesterday. So does that count as going
No.
in there? Okay.
No.
All right.
Not until you have like a Twitch stream where you're eating like a banana split.
Oh,
you're-
okay, we're off track again.
We're off track again.
Solstice
So
of Heroes, anyone?
So yeah, I mean, no, I don't. It doesn't sound like any of us have really wanted to. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me wants the pinnacles, right? But I don't want to go through the.
I don't mind PvP. It just didn't come up organically this week, so
Yeah.
just
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
Other
really do
things
it
that
like
you can do.
I
Letting
don't
it over it.
prioritize it. If it happens, it happens.
Let it happen organically.
I didn't
Yeah.
get on very much this week anyway, so it's like because of that.
Oh, the truth
I'm-
comes out.
I'm
Okay.
away from the.
All right. So can we get somebody on who's played the game? Maybe Ghost can come in and fill
I
in
played
for
a
you.
little.
Oh,
Hey,
okay, I
it's
guess
a
that
very
counts.
Casual Destiny
That's true.
podcast.
We do have the
right?
word casual
Isn't-
here.
Isn't the whole point is that we're playing it on a casual level?
I would think that it wouldn't be too shocking for a filthy casual to share that they just didn't do the Iron Banner this week. You know?
Yeah.
Which all of us just said.
Yeah.
So
So moving right along, it's the Solstice of Heroes. Solstice of Heroes has been announced. There's even been a trailer, which I watched. I don't have a feeling for the hype level on this. Yeah. Anybody?
I'm
Solstice of
excited to
Heroes?
do the EAZ again.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a part of it is like we just don't grind it out like to oblivion.
You mean to get all the ornaments?
Yeah. I haven't really done that before. Like I don't do it on all my characters. Sometimes I don't even do it all the way. And so like I don't do it to death.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you're not tired of the EAZ yet?
Yeah, I'm not tired of the EAZ yet.
Okay. Well, good.
I kind of enjoyed I like the EAZ. It's something that's different enough from the other things that you can do in Destiny right now that it's kind of nice and refreshing to have a different activity to do.
I'd like it as a
mid-summer.
seasonal event.
I mean, I told Green Stego this, but I'm actually have fallen off on the holiday activities having, or the holiday events having a dedicated activity because I think it's too short of a time to grind out one activity, and it does get very repetitive. I like
you can kinda get
seasonal
bored with it.
activities because I'm not tired of Override yet because I have the whole season to do it. I don't. You know, I can play it a few times and then play something else. I don't feel pressured to like play it nonstop for 2 weeks or 3 weeks on every character. So I feel like with the seasonal stuff, that's where I think that I just as a veteran player, obviously for new players this is great, but as a veteran player, I'm a little bored of doing. I wish that the seasonal events were more integrated, like. The Dawning is more integrated with other activities, and it's just flavoring what's already there in Destiny, but they're not really telling me which activity. And if the EAZ was there and it wasn't the only way to grind out most of the event, that'd be another story too.
Right.
That's where I stand. I'm still excited though. I'm not completely jaded.
I wasn't. I really was like, another Solstice of Heroes. I'm not another thing. I'm not going to be able to be a completionist with. But until they showed a picture of the shotgun, that's what got me a little excited. That almost looks like a dawning ethic there, but it's got that sun on it, and that got me a little hyped for the Solstice.
Something to chase.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I thought people like some of our clan members would start salivating over the shotgun, but oh no, Logan goes in and posts in our Discord.
Calling him out.
I'm calling him out for this. He's hyped about the armor set.
The armor's cool, though.
It is. It's very cool. He's got a point.
Solstice armor's always been beautiful. Like,
yeah, let's get that out of the way.
One of those. But at this point, I'm kind of like I enjoy the new activity. I enjoy having something new and different to do rather than grinding out strikes and whatnot. But on the other hand, I feel like there's so much other part of the seasonal activity. You and I were talking about this the other day, School Time, in that a large portion of the last two TWABs are talking about all of this end game stuff at, for instance, Grandmasters and now Master difficulty of Vault of Glass, and I'm nowhere near the light level to tackle those activities. So there's a lot of just regular grinding within the season going on right now.
That's true.
So to have it's almost like a distraction. Wait, no, you're distracting me from like the focus of this end game. So
yeah, but we were having this discussion, Sally Bug, about how it's been a lot of emphasis on PvE endgame lately, and the other announcement, and basically I think it just happened the past reset, is the Vault of Glass Master difficulty was announced. Is that correct?
That came out.
It launched, right?
I believe it's in effect.
Is it?
Or is it another
now, or is it launching on the
July
6th? Another
6th.
thing that's coming on
when
the
in
6th.
doubt,
the next week.
When in doubt, July 6th. So it comes out July 6th, and I guess they're going to have adept weapons with adept weapon perks.
Time lost weapons.
Yeah, time lost weapons. They didn't call them adept.
Oh, they're not called
adept. They said they
adept.
worked. They're going to work
'cause if it's
similar
adept-
to adept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
That it's just like cooler.
Is it enough for us to want to aspire as casual players to go into a master raid?
No.
It's not about what we want. It's about our level. And no, this isn't for us.
Okay.
I can
Yep.
absolutely
Moving right along.
Like on the level that it is. Yeah, it's like 1350, right? All the enemies are like at 1350.
This is
like
for hardcore players, and I'm not going to complain that it's not for me, because it's not for me. It's just not. If I did want to grind that much and dedicate my life to getting into higher tier content of Destiny, could I do it? Yeah. Yes, but like you said, I would have to like stop playing other video games. I would have to, cut out some other things in my life that I'm not willing to. So it's
as an advocate
like your
for the
life as a
game-
whole. So
As an advocate for the game that I love, I'm happy that they're putting this out there for the people who maybe this is their only game.
I call it Sally Bug. I call that being glad for glad. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm happy that it's there for them, but as a casual player, it's like I don't have any interest. It's like I like to be challenged, but the Vault of Glass on normal difficulty challenges me just enough. I don't need to take on
exactly and
stuff.
If we remember Destiny 2 Vanilla, this was like a big conversation point, is there enough for every player of every skill level, of every dedication level, even
depth of difficulty, right? Yeah, exactly.
And not just difficulty, but also like payoff for players who do want to dedicate more time. Is there going to be an avenue for those players? And before there wasn't, and I would say now there is.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
And that brings us. That's a perfect.
Like,
I'm sorry.
For me, it's it's still satisfying those who kind of are in our casual category, in that there's still plenty of their stuff to do, and I don't have any FOMO. That I can't do I can't grind grandmasters, or I can't do like master. I'm fine with that. Like, I still haven't gotten the latest exotics that you get from doing the solo. Like, I think.
Wait, you don't have Conqueror yet?
Oh, and that brings us to our last topic. Which I don't know, it might be a sensitive topic for some. It's the huge mid-season Sandbox update. This was in the last TWAB, and it just went on and on and on. But they are definitely shaking things up, and it's unprecedented that it would come mid-season, an update of this magnitude. And they kept warning that, this isn't normal. Don't expect this all the time. But we figured now's the time to start in so that they can start gathering data for the next season's update, right?
Mm-hmm. This is a welcome change.
Sure. I watched Aztecross. I read through it briefly, but man, I don't remember. There was just so many things in there. I know they're hitting up shotguns, they're hitting up the 120 hand cannons, all the biggies but this is the benefits of a live game, that you can stir the pot a little bit and rearrange it and make it fresh and new, and there's that sort of honeymoon period after they do this where everybody's scrambling to find the new meta, to find what works, all these other things come flooding in to fill the void after other things go out of favor. So I'm excited about it overall. I think it's healthy for the game for them to do this, and I'm really glad that it feels just like they're dedicated in making a huge effort. And that, combined with, I think it's Chris Proctor is one of the Sandbox guys. Him and Kevin Yanis are the head guys over there, and they did a great. I don't know if Romance Girls Green Stego, you guys have heard it yet or seen it. It's the Firing Line podcast, which is a subsidiary of Destiny Community Podcast, and it's PvP guys talking shop, and they had both of those developers on, Kevin Yanis and Chris Proctor, and it was great. Man, the insight into just sort of the technical aspects, not all of which I understand, but it was just so much fun I highly recommend that to anybody who's a fan of the game, or a fan of game development in general, talking about cones and angles and things like that, and why they went into there was like one question, like what's your biggest regret? And they answered stuff like that, which was really cool. I thought it was, and they were very forthright and revealed quite a bit of stuff that was usually behind the curtain, has been behind the curtain. They gave away a lot of the secret sauce, I think, to what they do when they're designing the Sandbox. So, you know what it's time for next, everybody? It's time for Paracasual loadouts. What's everybody been using? Pulling out any weapons from the vault, or have you tried a loadout? Have you tried a build? Anyone? Daniel?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in depth in my Mod Academy spot, but I've been using some Warmine Cells.
Nice.
And it's impossible not to run Breach and Clear right now, I'd say. Is there anybody here who's...
Guilty.
Me too.
I'm still on my Wither Horde bullshit. I am sorry. Haven't taken it off.
I've been using Anarchy. just like throwing down a bunch of like, and that's actually
Enjoy
part
it.
of the sandbox change.
Enjoy it now.
Yep. So I just like breach and clear and just like throwing anarchy bolts all over the ground, and everybody just like explode, like running into it and dying immediately. It's been great. It's been fun. It's fun. Let's face it, it's fun.
It is. I need to do Warmine Cells. I haven't done that yet. I've done, the light where you get charged with light, and I've actually done some of the elemental stuff with my Warlock, but I definitely need to explore a Warmind Cell build.
I actually watched a Fallout Plays kind of like 15-minute video on the Warmine Cells, and
Green Stego, you're out of the job.
Well, I guess we can just skip my thing then.
So I'm actually looking forward to listening to Stego's take, and because it isn't something that I've it's like something I've wanted to do, but just still haven't quite gotten my head around, how to make it work and so forth. So looking forward to that segment coming up.
Oh, and we got adored.
Oh yeah, we did.
Finally.
Nice.
Because
Congratulations.
Green Stego had the great idea to choose the Gambit quest when Adored first came out, so that's why it's taken us this long.
Oh boy.
So the other, I might mention that I've been fooling around with the Lumina hand cannon, which is a kinetic exotic hand cannon, and I got the catalyst for it. If anybody's interested in the catalyst, I think the Altar of Sorrows is it Altars of Sorrow? I think it's Altars of Sorrow. But that activity gets it done in a GIF. Well, not a GIF. It's a slog.
Yeah,
but also
I
did the tail end of it in overrides. So overrides are another great place. Any place, because it's overcrowded. It's a 6-person activity, and you're guaranteed to have 5 other people that you can use it on, and that's basically to get the catalyst. What the Lumina does is it, when you get a kill with it, it gives you a noble round, and you shoot a noble round without not aiming down sights. Is how you shoot a noble round, and you shoot the noble rounds at a teammate to give them a buff. And it gives yourself a part of the buff. It heals your teammates, and it gives them like maybe a 8-second Blessings of the Sky buff that increases their weapon damage. And you get the weapon damage buff as well. And it looks to be like a 25% bump in damage based on just my fooling around with it. And the catalyst is instead of just getting one of these things. Well, here's the thing. You get the kill with it, and then you see this little sort of ring of smoke, it looks like. And if you're like within 10 or 15 meters, it'll magnetize and absorb into you. Otherwise, you have to go chase it down. And that's the downfall of this weapon. I think its exotic perk is that you have to be close enough to your kill. So for distance, and the hand cannon itself is actually pretty decent as far as, for me anyway, as far as I enjoy using it just as a hand cannon. It's got pretty decent range, pretty decent impact. It's pretty sticky. So you can get some good kills with it, but where you have to keep a distance, you're not going to get the benefits of it. You have to be able to run in and get it. Get your buff, your noble rounds to shoot at your teammates. Anyway.
Yeah, I think they probably did that on purpose so that it wouldn't mess up the PvP sandbox too much.
Right. Yeah, you do have to.
That it would be like a high risk, high reward thing if you ran in and to pick up that circle or whatever. Or you're an invis hunter, but I mean, invis hunters don't really make that much of a difference in PvP.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that. Flawless execution can be one of the most powerful abilities in the game.
I'm sure it is, but it's not something I'm skilled enough to.
Okay, well, you can't just make a blanket statement. Hunter invisibility doesn't do anything in PvP.
I didn't say it didn't do anything. I said it doesn't do much. But I was doing. I was actually saying from my own perspective, like for me as a casual and non-PvP player, I guess I should have.
Well, at first you were saying from like a hypothetical third-person perspective, and so now you're switching the rules.
Yeah,
I appreciate the clarification.
Thank you for the clarification. And I think I'm with Soultime in that I think it would be or no, Sallybug said it to balance the PvP of Lumina. I think it would be terrible if we saw a Crucible completely overridden with Luminas. That would.
Either terrible or a lot of fun.
That's why I think that's kind of where I was getting. It's like maybe like I wasn't just the Invis Hunter being able to like go and pick up that ring for the noble round, whatever. So I was trying to put it into that perspective, but I
think that would be actually really helpful as an Invis Hunter.
That's a fun build.
I was just.
Tune in next pod when Sallybug shares her experience with this
you can't steal Soultime's thing. He's the Lumina.
Yeah, I'm the Lumina. I'm the Lumina. I thought I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. Is it Lumina and not Lumina?
Oh, I don't know. I might be pronouncing it wrong.
I've heard it both ways from my own mouth.
How about Lumina? So. Okay.
No,
anyway,
it's definitely not.
Oh. All right. So, I'm sad. Why am I sad? Because I look down into my coffee mug and it's empty. So I am going to let's introduce our next segment, and I am going to refill here. So one moment. The Paracasual Destiny podcast presents Eva Levante's Coffee Boutique.
I could use some coffee.
Yeah, me too, Eva. So I am going to go refill my coffee while Sallybug talks about her coffee experience this morning. Okay? Sallybug?
Yeah. I mean,
start talking.
A little. I'm here. Okay. My coffee experience today is a little bit boring, but I just I am on vacation, and in my vacation spot, it's just I get the coffee that is made for me. So, but nice strong cup of coffee. I think they used a dark roast, so that was good. My second cup ended up having a lot of grinds in the bottom of the cup.
Oh no!
So that was. Was
it a drip coffee?
It was just just your kind of average Mr. Coffee drip coffee.
I'm surprised that the grinds made it through like a drip. You usually don't get that many grinds in a drip coffee.
I think what happens is they try to make the coffee stronger than what the drip coffee maker is designed to, and so they overfill the coffee filter with grinds. And in my opinion, it's just like, because there's like that level of where you're trying to make the coffee strong, but then it's almost gotten to the point where it's too strong, so it's got that bitter aftertaste. So it was an okay cup of coffee, and it was definitely strong and woke me up, but not my best.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Still better than no coffee, though, right?
Better than no coffee, absolutely.
Amen to that.
Listen, anybody else here been in a situation where they actually do opt for no coffee rather than the bad coffee, though? Usually it's at work.
How bad the coffee is. Are we talking hotel lobby?
I'm talking like
rarely.
Teacher workday coffee.
I don't think there's ever. Ooh.
The only time that's happened is if I know that I have other options for caffeine. I have opted for, like, say, a sugar-free Monster Energy
Oh,
drink
that's a
can
whole nother boutique.
over a cup of coffee.
I don't know if Ava
the
Levante would
coffee was-
approve of that, but
Eva Levante does not like those energy drinks, Guardians.
Yeah,
not healthy.
would that be more like Shax's department or Drifter?
oh yeah, Shax I think is all about the Monster energy drinks.
Drifter could definitely be on board with monster drinks. Zero calories.
That's where I've I mean, I have opted for that option if the only other option was a crappy like gas station.
Well, not to brag, Sally Bug, but we got a fancy Starbucks coffee.
Ooh.
We slept in, so we decided to do a little pickup.
Nice.
That's
very cool.
And thank you to the viewers for tuning in for this coffee boutique.
The sponsorship.
Yes.
And the sponsorship.
Sponsored by
I mean,
Eva herself.
I was kind of, this is why you try to limit your expectations, right? Because when Sultan was like, take it away, I was envisioning, or I guess hoping for like almost a coffee commercial-esque painting from Sally Bug, for her to paint a mental picture of just this like slightly chilly but just like a beautiful laid back morning with
Setting
a
the
cup
bar
of
very
coffee.
high, and I don't know.
The poetry reading is down the hallway. Okay.
And it was just like
at least your vision of what I potentially had.
Yeah, it seems like he's giving you a bad grade.
I did.
I definitely got
just for telling the truth. Give me your coffee commercial. It's real life. Sometimes the coffee isn't great.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I burst your bubble. But
reality podcasting.
The view out my window while drinking the cup of coffee was fantastic. So
nice.
we've got that going on.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't go up there now.
Okay.
Bring your French press when you go up.
Yeah, exactly. I am going to take a short break while you guys transition.
Are we ready for the next segment? All right.
I think we are.
Fuck. Why is it doing that? Get it together now for Green Stego's Mod Academy. All right, Green Stego with his popular segment, Mod Academy. Take it away, Daniel.
All right, everyone. We've been covering some basic mods lately in the Mod Academy. We're moving over to the combat slot, though. The combat mod slot. So, in your armors, where you can slot your mods, we can we went through like what you can put in the helmet one specifically, and there's like a general mod slot where you can just like boost your stats. But all the way at the end, there's this combat mod slot, and there's like 3 different categories of mods that you can put there. There's like the charged with light builds. There's the recently introduced elemental well builds. But today we're going to be talking about Warmine Cells. Introduced, wow, over a year ago.
Yeah, they've been out a while.
In Season of the Worthy, these Warmine Cells, it took until like week 2 or something almost, right, for us to start seeing.
A few weeks, I think.
Yeah, it was like a couple weeks.
Because I remember the season came out and everyone was complaining that the weapons were lackluster. Mm-hmm. And no one had figured out how to use Warmine Cells with the weapons yet. And once the mods started getting released, they were like, oh, maybe there's more to these. There's more to this season.
Yeah. And you can see in my hands, I've in this slide there, I've got the 7th Seraph hand cannon there. So there's a slew of weapons, which, I mean, they're not like crazy meta weapons where you're getting rocked by the 7th Seraph and the Ikelos weaponry in the Crucible or anything. But when you are rocking them in PvE, and you've got some of these mods equipped, man, they really shine. So there are... Basically, if you just have one of these mods equipped, what you want to do with that Warmine Cell is you want to shoot it, and it's like a little bomb, and then it blows up and takes a bunch of dregs and acolytes and thrall with it. But you can enhance these Warmine Cells with additional mods in the combat mod slot. So, say you're interested in rocking these Warmine Cells. You want to put at least one of these mods in your combat mod slot, and you want to have a 7th Seraph or an Ikelos weapon equipped. Depending on what kind of armor you have, the elemental affinity is going to determine what you want to do with that Warmine Cell. So, the traditional route is the solar that enhances the explosion. That enhances the what you want to do is, as soon as that Warmine Cell shows up, you want to pop it.
That's Rage of the Warmind, right?
That's Rage of the Warmind and its ilk. It adds, that one right there, adds additional solar damage to the explosions. There are a couple others in that family, but they all enhance or add something to the explosion. So for these, if that's the route that you want to go, your armor, you want to have mostly solar. And so that's when you can do things like add a damage over time effect to your explosion, add a healing effect to your explosion that heals you and your allies, get charged with light by destroying, killing multiple enemies with an explosion, produce an orb of power by getting multiple kills with an explosion. So if you want to spawn those Warmine Cells by getting kills with the 7th Seraph and Ikelos weapons, and then cause those explosions, then solar is your route. But if you have arc armor pieces, those mods have like a different flavor to them. What you actually want to do is you want to run over to the Warmine Cell and pick it up like it's an orb of power or an elemental well. And then it gives some kind of a perk upon picking it up. It could be giving you melee energy for your melee ability, because as we recall from last week, Arc has a focus on like melee abilities. So that's one of its perks. Or giving you a in this one that I've got up on the slide deck here, causes a little burst of arc energy. And then the other thing you can do with it is just kind of leave it there. And so that's the Void mods. That is a situation where the Warmine Cell kind of acts like a beacon or a totem or something, and it emanates some kind of a buff just by being there. And so you can see the power of Rasputin there. You gain a bonus to weapon damage against enemies that are near Warmine Cells. And so that's the kind of flavor that you can spin on your Warmine Cells with these Void mods. And so you can also have it be like you take reduced damage from enemies that are near a Warmine Cell. These Warmine Cells last longer is another Void Warmine Cell mod.
So can I interrupt you for a minute?
Yeah,
I just
go ahead.
have this burning question. So when people are doing Warmine Cell builds, Do they do a mix and match sort of thing, or do they tend to stick with one particular affinity?
They tend to stick with one particular affinity. These kind of like all contradict each other, because it's kind of hard to. It would be contradictory to have the one mod that says like, while this Warmine Cell is out, it gives you a buff to your weapon damage, and then another mod to say, as soon as this Warmine Cell is out there, you want to blow it up because it's a big, juicy bomb.
Right. So, how you interact with the Warmine Cell is related to the affinity, and you're going to interact with it differently depending on what that affinity is. So mixing and matching doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Okay.
And
I was curious.
This is why I tend to leave Warmine Cells alone if I'm with, blueberries or playing with other people. And I'm not a Warmine Cell creator. I kind of leave them alone because I don't know what they're wearing,
Yes. And that's really what you should do.
Sometimes I'll throw on global reach just so if I do see a Warmine Cell, it at least has global reach.
Global reach is, if you're going to do Warmine Cells, the number one mod to have, which really affects all three of these types, is global reach. Whether you're causing an explosion, whether you are picking it up and creating a burst of arc energy or something like that, or whether you are having your Warmine Cell emanate a damage buff or an armor buff or something, you want to have global reach. That is going to extend the radius of this Warmine Cell. It really, basically, if you're doing the explosion one, it makes every Warmine Cell clear the entire room.
It's amazing. It's very powerful. It's
very powerful.
As you're talking about these, how about this? That imagine a fire team of 3 maybe doing a dungeon, and they're all the same affinity Warmine Cell build, right? Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's creating these things, these cells everywhere. That could be huge, right? You could really clean out that dungeon pretty quick, I would think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's something to think about. We should do it.
It's definitely something that you want to have coordinated.
Yeah.
And if you are doing just like solo, you're just playing with Warmine Cells, you gotta get used to the fact that the blueberries, unless you're playing with Soul Time, they're just going to shoot your Warmine Cell as soon as they see it.
Oh, yeah. So, solar. Go with solar.
So you want to go with solar, and you want to be able to pop it as soon as you see it. So,
sure.
The build that I saw recently, which was basically my build only very well explained, was from the YouTube Destiny creator Jarv, who fans of Houndish might know.
Fans of Houndish?
He was going over... Yeah, fans of Houndish. He streams... He plays with Houndish whenever Houndish is showing content for, like, a dungeon or any kind of a walkthrough ability. Jarv is always there. If it's, like, showing where something is...
If you have a sharp eagle eye.
Yeah,
if you know who you're looking for.
Yeah. Anyway, so shout out to him because he put together a pretty good build video, and he uses Warmine Cells for this, where he's using the 7th Seraph Arc SMG, which is slightly different from the Ikelos Arc SMG. But he got a good roll on that, so that's the one that he's using. And he uses a sniper rifle in his kinetic slot so that he can pop those Warmine Cells with one shot.
That's actually kind of cool, I gotta admit.
Yeah. It is.
I definitely am interested in exploring Warmine Cells further. I wonder how much longer they're going to be around. I didn't expect them to be around this long. That's kind of like my excuse for never taking the plunge was, oh, they've been around for such a long time now. It's probably I'll make some builds and then they're going to go away. But it looks like they're going to be around for the foreseeable.
To stay.
Yeah, I was thinking
that too.
They need to expand the ways that you can make Warmine Cells. They have experimented this with the artifact mods, but I'd like to see more formally more weapons be introduced into the mix that can make Warmine Cells.
Right, because right now there's just a limited number, but aren't there some where it says or solar damage weapons, right? So it doesn't have to
like I said, there are some mods and some newer mods and some original mods that there's other ways to do it, but I would still like more weapons to be folded in. If they're going to stay, then it makes more sense that more types of weapons can interact with these mods.
But I agree. This has been great. What's next? Are you going to take on the elemental spells or
Charged with Light?
Charged with Light. That's pretty much the only one that I have dipped my toe in, frankly.
But, I was thinking Charged with Light.
I haven't. I mean, I know I've only scratched the surface of that one, so with the taking charge builds. So yeah, this has been great.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I love Mod Academy.
I do too, and we've been getting a lot of feedback, positive feedback on the Mod Academy, at least here at the house. So internal feedback is important, right? Yeah, it's really important. Looking forward always to the next one, Green Stego with Mod Academy there. I'm working on our slides. We have a little technical difficulty going on here, and let's do this. Let's do this and this. I am doing the Wizard of Oz thing here behind the curtain. Let me get to OBS.
That wizard came from the moon.
Thank you for that segue into our next segment. That's the perfect segue into what I would deem another positive feedback. Get ready for it, and bless you. The Paracasual Destiny Podcast presents A Touch of Grimoire. A Touch of Grimoire with Sally Bug, our co-host here. So, Sally Bug, you want to tell us what you're going to talk about today?
Yes. So, outside of the ongoing story that's going on in the Destiny world, but again, trying to not give any spoilers away. It took us until, what was it, yesterday, Soul Time, to finally do the story mission and do the splicer quest.
Right. The final one.
Right. So I'm thinking that there's others who may not have done that yet. So I thought maybe we'd go into that. But I also looked into the lore books, and most specifically the Endless Night. And one thing that I will give a shout out to Ishtar Collective, which is kind of my go-to place for lore. They've introduced spoiler warnings now. And they'll put a pop-up on the screen and say, this has either just recently been released or this has been released through the API but has not been released in-game yet. So shout out to them for putting that up so that other people are aware that I think...
Yeah, spoilers have been a huge issue this season.
Yeah,
especially.
the community has been very kind of outspoken about it, and in a good way, because it's been such great storytelling that a lot of people really do just want to experience it organically, the way Bungie kind of intended it to be experienced. And so I'm appreciative that they're sensitive to that. So I thought I would be sensitive to that as well, and not address
So my son got
the story, but do the story mission, enjoy it. It's very amazing. It's a continuation of what we've discussed in the past, at any rate. So I did a lot of kind of backwards research and thought I would pick up on the lore, because I found it interesting from the Trials weapon that I got a few weeks back. And help me out with the pronunciation here. I was hoping that
Shayura.
I was hoping you would help with that.
I actually don't know. I mean, I have no authority on that. That's just
No,
Sounds good to me. Shayura.
I didn't know that what you were talking about when you said Trials weapon.
I was saying Shayura. I've heard it Shayura. But it kind of, I think it's anybody's guess, because that name is a made-up name. I looked it up on the internet and I don't see it. There is a Hindu name with a slightly different spelling as Shayura, but that's
and
not.
of course there's Soraya in the tower.
Right. So
no relation.
Not anywhere close. But the it's kind of a long lore, so I don't know if Stego wants to take that on. If he doesn't, I would be glad to read it this time around. But I thought
we're gonna do the whole thing or just an excerpt.
We could just do an excerpt and then talk about. Well, if we're going to do the excerpt, should we do like the beginning or do the end and talk a little
You're
bit?
You're the lore master. I'm just asking. You said it was really long, so I didn't know.
It is. It's pretty long. So let's do a little bit of a background. Shayura was part of a fire team that got caught in old Chicago. She was down there fighting something or looking for something at the time that from my understanding they got stuck. Her and her fire team got stuck down there during the Red War. And so because of that, it kind of they had to survive without their light. Her and her fire team had to survive without their light, and it seemed to really affect her, like that time of like having to survive without the light. Kind of gave her what I'm gonna say is PTSD, and so like she kind of lived in this like constant fear of the darkness and of the enemy and what was out there. And long story short, she once Stasis kind of made its way to Guardians, she did not take to that very kindly, and went off the deep end in Trials and started taking out Guardians like completely, not just killing them, but killing their ghosts as well.
Oh my goodness. That's horrifying.
And so she was caught by the Vanguard and put in Vanguard prison, so to speak. But then, well, let's read this lore entry. So, Sego, if you want to take it away, I would say start on, if you're on the page, start at that second log where it says Venus IS-1A.
You see? Still protected. Valuable. Hurrying up a shallow set of rubble-strewn steps, a short Elixni bearing the crest of the House of Light pauses, gazing back at the chrome-armored Guardian moving up the steps behind him. The Elixni looks the Guardian up and down, then motions to the stark silhouette of a gray concrete block building rising up from the Venusian overgrowth. This ain't the Academy proper, the Guardian says on ascent, watching the hazy sky for signs of danger. Moisture clings in glistening beads to his reflective mask. His dark hood shields him from the rest of the elements. The hell was this place? The Elixni tilts his head to the side, four eyes blinking independently from one another. Not human. Don't know. But machine inside. Why aren't your people bringing it back? Don't you folks get promotions for finding good salvage or something? The Guardian asks, gesturing to the crumbling building. The Elixni once again tilts his head, expression opaque. You listen to the spider's sneak words too eagerly. Come, we have a long walk to... The Elixni words are cut off, garbled in a wet scream as he is perforated by a barrage of submachine gun fire. The Guardian turns, cloak swirling behind him and hand cannon at the ready. But it isn't Vex or Fallen descending from the high cliffs. It's a Guardian in black and gold armor gliding to the ground, smoke issuing from the muzzle of her SMG. Shayura's boots lightly touch the leaf-strewn plaza, her eyeless mask fixed on the chrome-clad hunter. He wasn't a combatant, the hunter shouts. Shayura slowly approaches the Guardian. Did you find him within the hem of Aramis's skirt? Or did you swear yourself to the darkness after her passing? The hunter backs away up the stairs, the hand cannon trained on Shayura. He recognizes her armor for what it is, a reward of the trials. I know you, his voice quavers. You shouldn't be here. When did the Vanguard let you out? They didn't. I let myself out, since they were too busy opening the gates for our enemies, Shayura indicates, motioning with the barrel of her SMG to the dead Elixni. But you know why I'm here. I know you're a few rounds short of a full clip, the Guardian quips back, making a flippant gesture with his hand cannon in that moment of distraction. Shayura shoots him 6 times in 2 short bursts. The Guardian collapses, his gun trembling down the steps. A moment later, his ghost materializes, shell flared in anger. What are you doing? Shayura moves like a lightning bolt, materializing beside the ghost with an upward flourish of a sword of raw praxic fire. The ghost looses a howling scream of horror as he shatters into a flurry of glittering pieces. Crumpled on the stairs, the hunter coughs, his throat damp with blood. Shayura pulls her attention away from the shattered ghost, training her SMG down at her quarry. Traitor, she says in a shaky, gasping breath fueled by adrenaline. The hunter laughs, gagging on his own blood as he does. You're no better than the Dredgen, he says, in pain, then even quieter. Or Malfur. I killed an agent of the darkness, Shayura says, and the hunter has no rebuttal this time. He is still. Bile rises in the back of Shayura's throat. They come in many forms.
Oh, great reading. And I feel like it does tie into kind of what is going on in this story, and that it's complicated, right? Like, I don't... obviously Shayura has kind of gone off the deep end, and like I said, I feel like she's just suffering from anxiety and PTSD from the experience of losing her light and having to survive in old Chicago without the light during the Red War, and now it's twisted her perception of like anything that is in potentially looking to be anti-light or anti-against the traveler. So she sees any kind of alliance with anyone outside of the traveler or outside of the guardians and the human race on Earth as being traitorous, and is trying to pick them all off one by one. So, and doing the same when she saw Guardians taking on Stasis. So it makes me like the gun a little less.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's like you pick it up. you pick it up, and it's just like, I don't know.
Worse sources,
Probably,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That is so true. I mean, we've got the last word after all. So.
We've got last word, Thorn, Crimson.
Yeah.
Heck, Red Death was my go-to in D1.
Wow. Yeah. The weapons of sorrow.
Right. So, but great reading, Daniel.
Yes.
And as always, and once again, it's interesting. When I was doing a little bit of background and reading this up, there's not really a whole lot more on Shayura, except for that little bit of the little bit of backstory that I gave. So
there's a lot of that in the Destiny universe, that these characters that have little vignettes.
Right. But it's fun. There's so much there. It's so in depth. So it was nice to come across another little snippet.
Nugget.
Another little
I like
lore
the word
nugget.
Yeah, lore nuggets.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, thank you, Sally Bug, for that touch of grimoire. It's time for our next segment. Sound check. Destiny. Sound check. All right. In this episode's sound check, going to take a look at listen to some music. We're going to kick back and relax and spin a record. I found this. I just recently got some really high quality headphones, gaming headset, and it's opened up a whole new world of Destiny for me. Just the sound effects, the dialogue, the quality of voice, but most importantly, the background music, the soundtrack. And I was so amazed doing the Expunge missions and listening to what they cooked up for those that I decided to play one of those. And there is a YouTube creator named ArmyDude300 who put up a couple of the Expunge tracks. This one is the distributed cognition domain track. And I'm going to read there's a few comments. One from Chewy Armstrong says, this is finally what I was looking for. Well, somebody's satisfied. And then Piggy Master 3 has an interesting comment, 0:48, which and it links to the 48-second mark in the tune. And we can do that after we listen to it. And then Coldraxon of the First Seven says, I've re-listened to this and noticed that the intro sounds worryingly akin to Emperor Callus's on the Leviathan, but then cuts to Savathun's song, which is warbled and distorted, but it's present. And that in itself should terrify you if you know the remotest potential of such a thing. So you can, I don't think I was listening for that Savathun song. I'll listen for it again. Let's give this Expunge Music Distributed Cognition Domain a listen. Well, a really nice piece of sonic artwork there from the team over at the composing team over at Bungie. Some really lush synthesizers I'm hearing, and the percussion about halfway through the track, the breakdown into just the percussion for a while, and then when it comes back, it just opens up with those sort of fat, bass synthesizers and kind of like a Tibetan monk chant in the background. This is definitely one of my favorites, I've got to say, out of all these Expunge tracks. What I'd like to do is go back to Piggy Master's 3's 48-second mark here and see what he's talking about. Let me make sure the volume's up. All right. Here it is, 48-second mark. Okay, well, I'm thinking it's just sort of like the crescendo of all those synthesizer lines and the descending bass and all that really turned Piggy Master 3 on. So that does it for.
I do have to say, like,
Yeah.
I'm listening to it in, with my earbuds, but
Yeah.
when you're like playing the game and like you said, it's become more immersive because you have that new headset on. But when I'm playing the game, I'm only hearing it through the TV.
Yeah.
And wow, like just having the sounds going back and forth through my earbuds, like the
the
isolating
stereo
is like, wow, it
field
was
is
that,
very well utilized.
Does make me want to get a headset now.
Yeah, I would recommend anybody to we'll put the link in the description, but to look out.
Yeah, that comes.
Go listen to this with
highly
headphones.
recommended from our their clanmates as well.
Yep. All right, moving right along.
I actually recently got like a cheap headset. Hope to get like a nice one in the future, but even just with like a cheap headset, just so I could play with headphones on, it's amazing what a difference it is just playing with like your lower tier gamer headset.
And you and Green Stego play in the same room, so headsets are like really valuable.
Yeah, it's made it a lot nicer, at least on my end, because I can just hear everything clear. We usually have both our TVs down, so this way I can actually turn it up and listen.
Your KD's gonna go up.
It's intense because you do get that 360 feeling of like where everything's coming from. It's intense.
Yeah, you can hear footsteps. You can hear somebody popping their super or whatever from a distance, right? Kind of where direction it's from.
It's like so much more immersive, right?
It is.
You realize how.
I recommend even if you don't have the expensive one. I think we got one on sale for like $40, just like again because we just wanted to get one right away.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
While we save up for a nicer one, and even that is worth it in my opinion.
So the one that Take the Money and I have is really, really good, but it's on the pricey side. If you can, find it on sale or get a discount, then, or I know that Ghost and those guys swear by the ones that they're using. And
the Steel series?
The Steel series is cheaper, but got amazing reviews. I looked it up, and so that's supposedly and very comfortable too. So anyway. Are we ready for our?
You're right, and the one that you and Funny Bone use is the Razer Kyra Pro, I believe it is.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, sounds right. Okay. Nope. All right. Non-Destiny media consumption.
Okay.
That's our non-Destiny media consumption slide. So Anyway. Anybody want to take the plunge on this one to offer something non-Destiny related to the good people?
Oh, well, we have been enjoying diving into a little bit of our Nintendo Switch backlog.
Ooh,
nice.
Okay.
So we started a file of Cozy Grove is the name of the game. And we've really loved it so far.
Neat.
Nice.
And we also did a quick playthrough of Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Okay. Very fun.
And that was just amazing. It's such an experience. Just stunning visuals and just like a fun.
Is it platformer?
Rhythm game platformer.
Oh, one of those. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically it's like the gameplay, like the game length of it is about as long as like an album, basically. It's like a audio, visual, interactive music experience, basically.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's like you play through the storyline and the songs. It's what, like 15 maybe songs. So you can play through the whole game in one sitting and experience the whole story and music. And definitely, just if you Google Sayonara Wild Hearts, you'll just get a taste of the visuals. It has a very distinct, neon, pink and purple visual style. Not so dissimilar from Season of the Spicer.
I'm thinking Space Channel 5 for some reason, which is the old Dreamcast music rhythm game.
Yeah.
Which was too short.
A little similar, but it's also like, Dan, how do you explain that? It's like you're running through something.
It's like a
What are
almost
there's
like
a name for
rail
that.
shooter.
Yes, rail shooters. All right, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, almost like, but there's
cool.
it's not like a lot of aiming.
Yeah, there's not a lot of aiming. It's not. I wouldn't call it a shooter, but I'd say that it is more like that than.
Okay.
Highly recommended. Probably one of the funnest gaming experiences we've had in a while. It's just
we don't have a Switch yet, but it's definitely on our.
Yeah.
Is Sayonara Wild Hearts only on Switch?
I think so. It might also be like on Steam or something.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I've been playing a little AC Assassin's Creed Unity, which came bundled on the Xbox One that we purchased, and I never played it until just wanted to see what it was like. And it's fun. It's definitely Assassin's Creed game, and it's set in around the French Revolution, so you're in Paris. And the problem I have with it is going back to these earlier Assassin's Creed games. The functions, the buttons are all different on the controller, so switching between the two is very confusing to my muscle memory. And screwing things up in other games. But other than that, it's fantastic. I mean, it's just, the innovation that you could expect from any Assassin's Creed game. And so far, so good with that. Sallybug, you want to talk about our latest Marvel experience?
Yeah, I think from the last time that you and I were on, we watched Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Panther.
Black Panther was great.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman. Wow.
Absolutely.
Completely different role for him, but he's all right. He's all right. And
different.
all the actors in Black Panther were top notch, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Black Panther is amazing. It's so much fun.
I like the character. I like the storyline.
And just using African culture influence into the costumes and the design and just the sets, whether it's CGI or not, it's just amazing to watch.
And I think you started watching the documentary before, but I kind of fell into it and just sat on the couch and then got interested. Was the series on Monty Python. That's been
that's right.
Very fun.
Yeah, that's on Netflix, the Monty Python. I watched another episode without you last night.
Oh, that's all right.
Betrayal.
Yeah, a little bit of betrayal there, but man, it's Monty Python, so it's very, very easy to pick up or put down or whatever. So I highly recommend that anybody who's curious about the phenomena that is Monty Python, or just if you're a fan, obviously you're gonna love it. If you haven't seen it yet, it's really good because they go in depth into even all the albums they recorded and how they were recorded. And now the one I watched last night was on the Holy Grail, the making of the movie.
Oh, now I definitely want to see that one. How that came about.
Yeah, I'll watch it again. It's really good. It's excellent. And just from again, it's one of those things, if you're interested in movie making, just how movies are made and directing and things like that, there's a lot of reveal about the mechanics of that, which is really appreciated. Anything else from before we wrap up today?
I'll clarify that Sayonara Wild Hearts is on all platforms.
Oh, okay. Sayonara Wild Hearts it is then.
Check it out. I don't think it's on Game Pass though, which is unfortunate, but
we'll see what's
it's definitely
going on
worth checking out. Maybe if you can find a demo.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely want to give it a try. Give it a go.
Green Stago?
Yeah, we've been playing Cozy Grove, and we did that playthrough of Sayonara Wild Hearts. Cozy Grove is a little game that fans of Animal Crossing would enjoy. In terms of other media consumption, I've been enjoying this silly reality show, Lego Masters. It's a competition show where people compete to build a Lego creation out of Lego bricks, and it's just silly fun. And we also recently just finished what was available of the HBO series Harley Quinn, which was a lot of fun.
I heard that's
animated.
Really good. Yeah, I heard it's great. Yeah, cool.
Really, really good modern take on that universe.
Well, I think that does it for episode 36 of the Paracasual Destiny podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We broadcast live here on YouTube every other Saturday at 11 a.m., and you can listen to the podcast anytime on the platform of your choice, provided we upload it. And we had a little backlog going on, but we're catching up. You can also follow us on Twitter at ParacasualP. Don't hesitate to email us at the Paracasual. It's actually paracasualpodcast@gmail. We will see you 2 weeks from now. So long, everybody.
Bye, all.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Those aren't many hitches.